Hey everyone, hope you're having a good Tuesday. My name is Holland and I'm of course here to do a Tuesday tip. And what we're going to do this week is I'd like to cover creating variation listings for Walmart specifically. In the past, I've actually put out a video that tackles how to create variation listings generally, but seems like quite a few of our merchants are getting a little bit tripped up when creating variation listings specifically to the Walmart marketplace. So want to get into that and kind of cover the differences that make creating variation listings for Walmart unique, and make sure that you guys are able to get those out and published successfully. So just to reiterate, the process is more or less the same, but there's some key differences to be aware of. So won't waste any more time and we can get straight into it. So going to do a quick rehash and start from the product level. So I'm going to open up this product page here. And I'm going to go ahead and click into my variations tab. And what I want to identify here is the fact that this product has two variation attributes. So if you're not sure what a variation attribute is, that is going to be color and size, at least for this product. This product varies on color and size. So these are the product's variation attributes. The variation values are going to be the actual colors themselves. In this case, blue. There's only one color for this product. And the size varies quite a bit. We've got 10, we've got 4, and we've got a size 7. So those are the actual variation values. The attributes themselves are things like color and size. So in order to create a variation listing for any marketplace, you need to make sure that Sellbrite is communicating what this product varies on and what those variations are. You need to communicate that to the actual marketplace. So how you do that is by using a template, which we're going to jump over to in just a second. But before we do that, I actually want to point out one of the key differences here that we're going to find going kind of along the way, and that is your images and your product info. So I'm going to go here and click on this image tab, and we can see that this product has an image. This is, of course, an image that is only actually applied to the parent. Right now we're looking at a parent SKU. If I click back into the variations tab, I can see what these variations are, and I can actually click on a variant SKU, which I'll do right now. And so now we're looking at kind of like a different product page. You can see my back to parent button. I'm actually looking at the product page specifically for this variation and not just the parent SKU. And this variation also has an image. I click on the images tab. You'll see that the image lives here as well. If I go to the product info, I can see what information lives here. I can go to my description, and I can see that there is a description here in that field. So why am I talking about this? When you're creating a variation listing for Walmart, each variation has to have an image assigned to it, and you want to have a description as well. You need to have not all of, but a lot of the information that you would typically house only in the parent information, you need in the variation information as well. So I know this can be a pain, especially if your variations don't already have images assigned to them, but this is not something that is by design within Sellbrite. Walmart actually needs the data to be sent to their system this way. It needs to have individual images for your variations. Now, if your product varies on only size, you might be thinking, why does it need a different image if the color is the same? The sizes isn't really going to impact the images that I have for my listing. Doesn't matter. If your product does vary on something like color, and so you have different images for each variation anyway, then that's great. That works better for you. But just wanted to point this out. This is something that you need to do in order to successfully create variation listings for Walmart. So make sure that you've got your images added to variations. Make sure your descriptions are in there. And any other information that you think is going to be important to those variations. Those are the two that I believe are required, but feel free to add more if you want to. So we've covered that, and we've covered mapping and those variation attributes, and the fact that we need to map, size and color and to the listing itself. So like I said, how do we do that? We do that with listing templates. So let's take a look at listing templates. Go ahead and click settings and listing templates and recipes. I'm going to go ahead and open up a Walmart template. I'll click on one that we've already got here. Cool. So first thing I want to do is I want to turn on my advanced options so that I can see everything that's going on here within this template. And first thing I want to point out, this is another key difference with Walmart, is that you'll notice that the clothing category is just clothing. It says clothing category, clothing. That's all there is. So this could mean socks, this could mean t-shirts, this could mean pants or jackets. It means clothing. So what comes with that is a ton of category specifics and a bunch of different, basically like product attributes that probably don't even apply to what you're selling, right? We've got dress style, we've got hat size. This applies to so many things. So just be aware of that. You can kind of keep scrolling down. You'll see there's a lot. And again, most of these won't apply to you. So don't feel like you have to play with all of these. Just kind of select what is applicable to the product that you're selling. Another thing you might be wondering is like, okay, well, if I'm selling pants or socks or whatever it is to Walmart, how does Walmart know where to put this? Because the general clothing category doesn't really help me. With the information that gets sent to Walmart, Walmart will actually automatically place your listings in the right category, right? So as we send it information that's going to be found here in this template, it's going to decide, oh, okay, yeah, you've got certain attributes that belong to this listing, and that's going to help us decide where this should go. So you don't have to worry about where your listing ends up. Walmart, they always put it in the right place based on the information that you give them. So that shouldn't be a problem. Now, one thing that you want to pay attention to here is what is a required attribute. In this case, brand is required just based on the category. So the clothing category is requiring that brand be present. So I want to map this to an attribute. So I'm going to go ahead and click brand. So now the brand field that lives in my product information and contains a value, it contains my actual brand, that's going to be sent to the listing. And what's great about this is that you obviously have probably a ton of products that have different brands, and those unique brands are always going to be sent to the listings because we're just mapping it to the attribute. So Sellbrite's going to tell each listing what that brand is, even if that brand is different every time. So you're going to do something similar for your variation attributes. So we want to scroll down here and find something that is applicable. And we can see that there is an attribute called clothing size. So this is also where it can be a little bit tricky because this isn't marked with a red asterisk the way that the brand field is, because this technically isn't required unless you're creating a variation listing. But we don't know if you're doing that. So you just need to be aware of this. If you're creating a variation listing, make sure that you have these mapped. So clothing size, what I'm going to do is I'm going to map this to my size attribute, the one that we were just looking at in my product information. So same thing with the brand field. It's telling Walmart every time we push listings using this template what those sizes are, and those are always going to be unique, and we're going to send those unique sizes to Walmart. So we've mapped size. Let's go ahead and map color as well. And now we're pretty much good to go with this template. So we can go ahead and save this, and I can use this template now to create variation listings that fall within this category, the clothing category, to Walmart without any issues. If I'm selling, the same kind of clothing. So you'll likely need to create maybe a few of these if you sell multiple products within the clothing field, because you want to map your attributes correctly. Now, typically Sellbrite will actually map your attributes for you automatically, but just due to the complexity of Walmart and the way that they need to take data in from a third-party application like Sellbrite, we don't do it automatically for you here in your Walmart template. So you want to come in here, you want to build these out, make sure they look good, make sure they're ready to go, and they're going to help you create listings at a pretty quick rate. So let's go ahead and let's just take a look at some draft listings that I already have in Walmart, just so we can kind of see how this template translates to the actual listing that lives in Sellbrite. So I've got my drafts here, and what I first want to point out before we click into one, this is yet another difference that separates Walmart from the rest of the sales channels and marketplaces that you have connected to Sellbrite. So typically when you have a variation draft listing or an active listing, it's displayed here as such. You're going to see basically that parent listing, and you can expand to see the variations. In Walmart, we actually have to break out your variations individually. And again, this just comes back to the way in which data has to be sent to their system from ours. So don't be alarmed if you see this. Your variations did not get broken up or anything like that. This is just the way that they are displayed here in Sellbrite. And side note, Amazon actually behaves the same way. So if you have Amazon connected and you've tried creating variation listings for Amazon, you'll notice the same thing, right? They get broken up here. You'll see each variation displayed individually. So let's go ahead and let's just open one of these just to double check everything and make sure things look good. So I'll go ahead and I'll click into my category section, and I can see that my template is applied. So that's good, which means that because my template's applied, all those fields that we were just looking at in the template, they're all here, but they're all grayed out. I can't touch these. That again is normal. That's what happens when you apply a template. We need to lock those fields. And you can see, like I was saying before, that when you map those attributes from your product information to the listing, you can actually see those unique values, right? You can actually see the size. So I'll scroll around here. You can see that the size here on this listing is 5x. The color is gray. So you didn't have to actually manually type in individually what every different color is for your variations. Sellbrite just took that information from the product, placed it in each listing for you, and this is good to go. So that's really all there is to it. I'm sure it's a little bit easier said than done sometimes, but I promise this process is not super complicated. Once you understand mapping, once you kind of just understand those differences, those things that make Walmart unique and a little bit trickier, it's not too bad. So just be aware of these things. Don't panic if you see your variations split up when you're going to create them from Sellbrite. That's normal. I know that the image thing might be a little bit of a drag if your variations don't already have images in them. I know that can be a pain, but that's the way Walmart works. We don't make the rules. So again, I hope this was helpful. One other thing I'll point out is that when you finally do go ahead and click Save and Publish, don't expect these to just go into Walmart's system immediately. Walmart's system does take a little bit longer than most to actually ingest that listing information, but it will go live. If you've done everything right, I promise it will go live. Just give it a little bit of time. So anything that might give you pause, I promise it's normal. Again, I hope this was helpful. And if you have any additional questions about creating variation listings to Walmart, or really creating listings at all, or really any questions you have about Sellbrite, don't hesitate to reach out, which you can do at support@sellbrite.com, and someone from our support team will be happy to take care of you. Thanks.